With progress appearing to backslide, the United States envoy to North Korea has asked Pyongyang to revive stalled negotiations over Kim Jong-un's nuclear program. Now, Washington wants Kim to give up his nuclear weapons, but the North Korean leader wants a more gradual approach that would prioritize easing sanctions against his regime. Let's get some in-depth analysis. Joining me via on the line, live from New York, is Sean King, VP of Park Strategies and an Asian Affairs scholar. Sean, welcome to the program.
Good to be with you. Thanks.
Now, so President Trump and his pointman on North Korea, Biegun, appear to be signaling on North Korea to come back to the table. But North Korea in recent weeks have, of course, been test firing various weapons and words as well. What is the general consensus in the U.S. of a possible breakthrough before the year's end?
There's no sense of any breakthrough here on anything good. It's just a question of how bad something might happen between now and the end of the year, because Kim Jong-un set his New Year's Eve deadline. So people are just waiting for what kind of test Kim might do, but I don't think anybody's expecting any breakthrough right now.
Now, many experts and officials appear skeptical North Korea will ever give up the arsenal of warheads and missiles that have become really central, I guess, to its status as a global pariah, if you will. Or is it out of anticipation that they will eventually give up their nukes? That China and Russia, for instance, earlier this morning have drafted a UN resolution proposing the termination of some UN sanctions on North Korea.
Well, that would just encourage North Korea to play even harder ball with us, because if they're going to get sanctions relief from enablers Moscow and Beijing, or at least the prospect of it, then there's less of a need for them to give Trump anything. So the Moscow and Beijing actions at the UN, I think, will just discourage Kim toward making any overtures toward Trump.
So what you're saying is that that would be vetoed by the U.S. and its allies at the UN Security Council, yeah?
It would be vetoed by the U.S. for sure, and just the sense that it's out there will give Kim more confidence that Putin and Xi Jinping are in his corner with him against Trump. So it's going to embolden him all the more and not encourage him to make any concessions whatsoever, or have just the opposite effect.
Now, what kind of progress does Washington expect from resuming talks with Pyongyang? I mean, can we expect another leader summit between Trump and Kim Jong-un? And if so, around when?
You know, I don't know. Steve Biegun looks a little desperate there, almost knocking on the door in Seoul, just begging somebody from North Korea to talk to him. I do expect another leaders summit. And Kim, I think, who knows what he's going to do, but I don't think he's going to cross Trump's red lines, which would be intercontinental ballistic missile and or a nuke test. He'll probably do everything just short of that, because he's got to realize he's never going to get a better U.S. president than Donald Trump, someone who's willing to engage him one-on-one, and also who doesn't have full faith and confidence and commitment to the U.S.-South Korean alliance. So it's kind of a squeeze play going on here, where Kim's trying to get as much as he can from Trump before the election, but without embarrassing him. Trump's invested a lot in this. He likes to say that he's met Kim and nobody else has, even though his predecessors were asked to meet Kim. As far as I know, they just didn't want to do it. So I expect Trump to showcase another summit before the election. When and where, I don't know. But I do expect another leaders summit before the election.
Now, all this perhaps coincidentally maybe comes as the U.S. and South Korea renegotiate their defense cost-sharing agreement. Will this have any impact?
I think it's just coincidence. It has nothing to do with Kim's deadline. I don't think it has much impact. If anything, it should remind Kim that not a friend, but he has a sympathizer in Donald Trump, somebody who's not fully committed to the U.S.-South Korea alliance. You know, at times like this, when mainland China is making everybody in the region nervous, we should not be extorting or shaking down our allies. And in the case of South Korea, South Korea also already covers a substantial portion of U.S. defense costs in South Korea. And we should also remember that allows us a forward deployment to push back against any mainland Chinese expansion in Northeast Asia. So we shouldn't be looking at the military as a for-profit enterprise. Korea already covers a lot of our costs there. I just wish we were a little more sympathetic to our hosts as we go through this. What we're going to end up with, I can't say, but I think it's really just coincidence it happens to be happening at this time.
Absolutely. All right, Sean King, as always, we appreciate your insights. Thank you so much.
Thank you.